Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Julie K here with a junk journal share. I participated in a challenge on Vintage Junk Journals, which is a Facebook group. And we were to make, or actually write in a journal, junk journal, every day for 30 days. 3 things that you were grateful or thankful for each day for 30 days. It was kind of meant, the challenge was meant to encourage people to start using their journals that they're making to actually write in and use. At the time, I didn't have a journal that I wanted to write in, so I decided to make a journal as I went. So I did each page each day as I went along, and then I created the cover afterwards. And so this is the journal that I created. And to make this journal, I did coffee dye pages from this paper collection. It's an old Prima paper pack called the First Blush Collection. And some of the papers in here have glitter and some have a little bit of embossing on them. But it's a paper pack I've had for a long time, and I've only used a few sheets out of it, so I thought it was a good way to use up some paper that I've had for a long time in my stash and hadn't been using. So again, here is the journal that I created. I'm just going to go grab a ruler real quick so I can measure it for you guys. See, it is roughly, see, it's about 5 1/4 by about almost 7 3/4. I did put a title on here, and I just called my journal Blessings. And I used a Tim Holtz hitch post and elastic band for my closure. The back side I left pretty plain. I did use some texture paste that I used in a stencil just to add a little texture over it. And I also used a file folder as my cover base, and I did the pamphlet stitch, and I did just left it open. And maybe down the road I might put some lace or something over it. I just didn't currently have anything in my stash for it, so I just left it as is. There's a few things I'll probably be adding to this journal as I go, but I just wanted to show you guys a completed journal and one that actually had been written in. So the inside cover I just left plain for now. Here's my first page. There's just a couple pockets right here. And this little saying here says there's always something for which to be thankful. And again, I just journaled on the back sides. There isn't anything earth-shattering on any of my journaling. I'm kind of lead a plain and boring life. So just kind of basic stuff I journaled about. Or usually I would try to write 3 things each day, and then I would journal about them on another sheet. So. And this one was kind of funny. One of the things I was grateful for that day was electricity, because right after I started this, we had gone for almost a week without electricity at our place. So I was very happy to have running water and all sorts of stuff again. So that was one of the weird things that I was grateful for that day. And I just went through my stash and just found all sorts of little different ephemera pieces. This was actually a piece of junk. It came from a Prima packaging that I just cut out and edged with some brown ink. Made a belly band right there. Some lace on this one to make a pocket. And this one was a Spellbinders template that I used. So I did, in here there's a little pocket with some, and I wrote some stuff in there. You know, on each of these tags I wrote my little 3 things that I was grateful for that day. So, let's see. Need some banner. These were leftover pieces from a book that I had torn the pages out of. Journaled on both sides of the tag. Then here I did the 3 things on little individual tags that I was thankful for that day. And then I also included some more journaling on here. I put a magnet inside this envelope, and then there's another sheet in there with some journaling on it. Another little belly band. Everything in here was coffee dyed, and maybe a couple things were tea dyed as I went. Just some extra tags that I did journaling on. I did do a flip up here, but I ended up not journaling anything in there. I just didn't have much to say that day. But I can always go back and add something if I want to. Some more journaling on paper. The tags. Here I had an envelope that I covered with a napkin and kind of did some decoupage stuff and just cut off the edges. I decorated that, and I journaled again on the back side. And here I journaled on the back side of a tag that I had made with some of the leftover paper. This was a piece from, again, some packaging that I cut around. Just journaled on the inside. Here was an image a friend had gifted me, some colored cards that she had colored for me, so I included that. There's my little tuck spot right there. She just seemed to match the page quite well. Here I did a double tuck spot. And this, again, the base was made out of some leftover paper that I'd torn out from some books. This was the middle of my signature. I'm going to add some sort of, I know a lot of people put hearts or butterflies right here. I'm probably going to maybe try to find some sort of little bird image or something to put there, but I just haven't found the right thing yet, so I'll finish that later. I did a little layering on this page right here with some different pieces, and then here's where I journaled. It's on the back of that tag right there. So this one just kind of has lots of little pockets and tuck spots. I have a sheet in there of the 3 things that I was grateful for that day. Just some more leftover, you know, just different pieces and stuff from my stash. Then here is that back side of that envelope that I had cut up and decoupaged on the one side with a napkin. Here is a die cut that a friend had gifted me, and I just made that into a tuck spot. Then here was just some junk right here that my parents used to own a feed and seed store that they sold bird feed from, and it was part of a big elevator, and they had all sorts of leftover packaging and different stuff where they weighed seeds up. And so this is one of the leftover sheets that they had, and I have a few of those that I just have been using in my junk journals as I go along. It was something that normally probably just would have been recycled or thrown away, so I did include a little bit of junk in my journal. You know, some days I just had a little bit to write, and some days I wrote on both sides of my sheets. I was just trying to do 1 page a day for 30 days, so where sometimes when I journal in my stuff, I might include 2 or 3 days on 1 page. It just depends upon what's going on. This piece was left over from another project that I had. I had a dragonfly flip book, and this was just one of the leftover dragonflies I didn't use on that flip book, so I included it in here because it seemed to match quite well. This little sticker was gifted to me from Danelle in a little swap that we had in the past, so I included that on there. I just love that saying, so I had to include that somewhere. And again, another little flip up right here, and tuck spot. That one I just wrote on the back of this one. This one I didn't write on yet, so there's still some more room if I want to embellish and do some different stuff yet, so. And then another one, this was gifted to me also, I think, by Renee, Wanna Scrap here on YouTube. And this was gifted to me by Sherry that she had colored. So I wrote my 3 things on the back. And then I also kind of did a little flip this way too that I could have written in here. I just didn't have a lot to say that day, so I just wrote my 3 things I was grateful for. And this was left over from one of my very first junk journals that I made, a butterfly one, and I didn't end up using this butterfly piece, but it matched the paper so well in this collection that I used it. I think this one came from a K & Company paper pack that I had fussy cut out, so I used that as a tuck spot. And then here's the back end of my closure, and I probably will go back in and put, you know, maybe some sort of piece of paper or something over that just to reinforce it a little bit better. But that is my gratitude junk journal for the challenge. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope you guys have a great day.